The girl pulled her luggage slowly into the yard. Looking into the eyes of the nine-tailed fox in the house made her couldn't help but feel scared. She silently cursed his 18 generations of ancestors, but suddenly the fox appeared in front of her and then helped her carry her luggage. The girl consoled herself and walked in. Arriving in the house, the fox helped her arrange the room. Just as she was about to hide in the room, the fox called her back. After all, this was the first time they met. He still didn't know her name. She introduced her name is Lee Dam. After saying that, she immediately wanted to go back to her room, but she was not careful and dropped the pepper spray. Lee Dam quickly said it was a gift for him. She also said she was in a hurry and didn't have time to pack it. I hope you will like it. The fox pretended to try it. It was indeed a good gift. Lee Dam was lying on the bed without a defense weapon. She was extremely nervous. She secretly thought that she definitely wouldn't be able to sleep tonight, but didn't expect that she would sleep until morning. She also didn't expect that the fox would prepare a refrigerator with many food for her, and in order to make it up to her, the fox agreed, helped her pay for all her study expenses. When received the reward, she was extremely happy. He completely forgot about her current situation. A man who had lived for more than 900 years lived with a girl for the first time. The next second, he turned into an old man and said to this girl, I have to use this identity to go on a business trip to France for 2 days. If you feel uncomfortable, call me. Lee Dam immediately waved his hand, said she had no discomfort at all. She told him to rest assured and go on business. But at night, she was called out by her friends, but she knew clearly that she would no longer be the same. If she were to encounter people born in the year of the tiger, wouldn't be okay, so she had to leave quickly. Suddenly, the phone in her hand fell and was picked up by someone else, but the other person had a provocative mentality. Lee Dam immediately took it seriously. I continued to pick up the phone and leave, but the next second, the man took the initiative to hug her, and this station made Lee Dam's stomach immediately ache. It was clear that this man was born in the year of the tiger, but she was in so much pain that she couldn't say anything. The man thought that she would accept to go with him, so he took her away. Quickly walking to an alley, Lee Dam's face became increasingly ugly. The man comforting her in front had a hotel. Wait a little longer, he will help her wake up, but now she has no strength left. She really hopes someone can save her. At this moment, Lee Dam felt extremely helpless. The next second, he appeared in front of Lee Dam. He hugged Lee Dam and wanted to take her away, but was stopped by the man. Clearly, he did not know that the man in front of him was a 900-year-old fox. He was immediately slapped by the fox and flew 10 meters away. After this incident, the distance between the two people seemed a little closer. Lee Dam knew he did it to protect the fox gem in her body, so she curiously asked him if that fox gem could be taken out. The fox told her that humans cannot withstand the fox jade for a long time, at most only a year. Lee Dam asked what if she couldn't get it out. The fox stopped and told her that she would die. Knowing how long she would live, she decided to eat delicious food that she had never eaten before. At this time, the fox at home looked at the time. It was 11 o'clock at night. He was a little worried about Lee Dam. He didn't know that at this time, Lee Dam had eaten and drank too much. But because she was drunk, she couldn't walk steadily, so she fell. When she wanted to stand up, she suddenly saw a red pearl in front of her. She vomited the pearl. At this moment, Aha ran home as fast as she could, with a serious face repeating what she had just done. Then she held out her hand and said, I won't die. The fox glanced, then looked at Lee Dam and asked her why she was holding the candy. The look on Lee's face was Dan. Dam was disappointed. Suddenly the fox saw that something was wrong with Lee Dam. She was about to vomit, but according to her vision, could it be that she intended to use that antique vase as a place to vomit? Indeed, the next second, Lee Dam immediately rushed towards the pile of antiques. The fox waved his hand, and the antiques immediately flew up. Seeing that she wanted to rush into other things, but obviously she failed again, the fox immediately opened the bathroom door for her. That made Lee Dam calm down. Looking at the pile of antiques floating in the fox house, he couldn't help but sigh. At this time, Lee Dam also just stray. She could have resigned herself to her fate, but as soon as she arrived at school, she discovered a bunch of older boys appearing in front of her. Her mind immediately went into chaos, quickly walked past those boys. Right when she was breathing a sigh of relief, a group of people rushed towards the cafeteria and bumped into her. But luckily, someone caught her. Lee Dam curiously asked him if he was 1 grade above her. Isn't he the age of the tiger? The senior told her that his birthday was early, so he was the year of a cat. Lee Dam immediately said very lucky, when he born in the year of cats. The senior heard that he were extremely embarrassed. This path was not easy. Lee Dam knew that if her life was not long, she could not let herself live in pain, but suddenly someone called her. Lee Dam quickly realized that this was the school's hot boy, also her senior, the year of the tiger, but the senior only reminded her that she had dropped her shirt, and he even helped her pick it up. Lee Dam saw him walking closer to her and was so scared she couldn't speak. She immediately told him to put the shirt on the ground. Then, Lee Dam carefully bent down to get it. She was afraid of what he would do to her when she picked it up. When put on shirt, she say thank you then run away. The male student stood dumbfounded and couldn't believe his eyes. Not only was he a rich man, but he was also recognized as the school's hot boy. Everywhere he went, went, girls welcomed him. But why did that girl avoiding him was like avoiding evil? This inevitably made him interested in this strange girl, knowing that the other person was a fox. Lee Dam began to negotiate with him. If he can't take out his fox jade temporarily, then he was obliged to keep her safe at all times, is also to keep the fox jade safe. Moreover, he can't show her a cold face. It makes her always in a bad mood. Just like that, the two people reached an agreement. Lee Dam thought he had made a good deal, but did not know that the fox's nature is cunning. Indeed, the next day he went to his 900-year-old fox friend and told her about the human girl after swallowing his jade. The 900-year-old red jade turned blue. As soon as his friend heard it, she said this was a good thing, but the fox replied that he couldn't love a young girl. He can't make things turn into a tragedy like 600 years ago. Since Lee Dam swallowed the fox pearl, her whole body has always been in a state of tension. She just found out that she was seen by a hot boy from school not far away. Lee Dam didn't want to eat, so she said goodbye to her friends. As she stood up to prepare to go, she was stopped by a hot boy. Lee Dam's first reaction was not to touch people born in the year of the tiger, so she told him to give her way. The hot boy asked her again if we could drink a glass of water together. Her best friend saw that and immediately pulled her back. Why did she want to miss such a good opportunity? The senior asked her if she wanted a drink, but she resolutely refused. Her close friend asked Lee Dam why she was so tense. When the senior found out her name was Lee Dam, he wanted to take the opportunity to close the distance, but she suddenly avoided him. The senior's face immediately became unhappy. Seeing this, his close friend immediately helped him overcome his shyness. The senior tried to put his hand behind his back, but Lee Dam reflexively avoided walking. The senior was extremely uncomfortable. Fortunately, at this time, a phone call came to him. Go. But there is a saying that what you can't have is the best. Now he just aiming at Lee Dam, but flowers fall intentionally and water flows unintentionally. He waited until after school to borrow money from Lee Dam to buy drinks, then come back, grabbed Lee Dam's phone and entered his phone number. He told Lee Dam to call him the next time he wanted something to drink. The promise to meet again a second time was so clear. He thought Lee Dam would like it very much. He was interested, but he didn't expect her to say she didn't like it. The senior, who had never been rejected since he was young, felt interested in Lee Dam. Lee Dam went home heartbroken and cried. She was healthy and lived for 18 years and suddenly got infected with a strange disease. She didn't even know if she would be able to see the sun again next year. The fox outside the door, after seeing it, couldn't help but remember the question of his fellow. He clearly knew how to get the jade fox out, but why didn't he take it out? Then the fox came to Lee Dam. He said, I want to confirm something. Before Lee Dam could react, the fox grabbed it, Lee Dam's hand. Looking at the red fox and Lee Dam's body, he got the answer. So he told Lee Dam she could come back. She should think of it all as a dream. Then he held on tight, taking Lee Dam's face. He originally wanted to take the fox jade back out of her body, but now he discovered that the fox jade in her body had changed color. He immediately stopped taking out the fox jade. But a human like Lee Dam's heart was shaking. The fox thought to himself that maybe the girl in front of him was the one he had been waiting for 600 years. This girl, who had lived 18 years in this life, was being teased for the first time. But to be exact, it wasn't a human, but a fox that had been alive for 900 years. But no one believed it when she said it, because it was her first time. So she had no experience, so she asked her best friend. She said she had a friend lived with a person of the opposite sex. But one day, that man suddenly kissed her, but the important moment stopped. They had only known each other for a week, but when she wanted to leave, the man, without saying anything, hugged her. So the problem was what kind of trick that man was playing. Her best friend insisted that it was an expression of love, not knowing that the man she was talking about was now in his mind also full of questions. As soon as his fox friend heard it, when he was about to take it out, the fox pearl turned blue, but quickly turned back to red. Why wasn't it the same as her at that time? The fox asked her. What was her situation at that time? She told him that her jade fox immediately changed color, because now she is a normal person, and now the fox cannot understand whether he wants to get the jade back or not. Her friend analyzed for him that perhaps this was his last chance. She did not know that at this time, the senior was also remembering Lee Dam. The senior wanted to borrow money last time to meet Lee Dam. Lee Dam directly replied that she was not free. The senior's stubbornness was raised to the peak. He asked her what she was busy with. Unexpectedly, Lee Dam replied that she was cleaning the toilet. She also asked him if he had any tips on how to unclog a toilet. The senior felt more and more that Lee Dam was a bit interesting. In fact, she was actually cleaning the toilet. She didn't want the fox to see her embarrassed face. At this time, her senior called to teach her. First, close the toilet tightly and flush. After seeing the bulge in the middle of the bag, apply more pressure, and indeed, she can hear the sound flushing bar. She excitedly picked up the phone to thank the senior. She also gave the senior a nickname, the Toilet Fairy. First, the senior thanked her for the nickname she gave him. Then, based on the name of thanks, he wanted Lee Dam to invite him to a meal. As soon as Lee Dam heard that, she immediately agreed. The truth proves knows that according to it's impossible to chase girls without some skill. At night, the fox began to please Lee Dam. He bought Lee Dam the pizza she liked the most. He even gently asked Lee Dam if she had enough to eat. If it wasn't enough, he would personally go into the kitchen to cook. Lee Dam was suddenly confused by his gentleness. At this moment, she couldn't help but remember his best friend's words. That man was definitely showing love. Although she immediately said that it was impossible, she still took the initiative to ask the fox a word of love. The fox choked and didn't know how to answer. Lee Dam continued to ask him like that last night. What do you mean? The fox explained that at first he really wanted to let go and let her go, but he thought that if he let her go, he would have to deal with everything alone and would be very confused. Lee Dam also understood after getting the answer, so it was considered a matter of passing, but she still hoped that in the future, he could control himself and not do ambiguous actions, as that would easily cause others to misunderstand. The fox immediately dissolved his shyness. He said he just wanted to check to see if she was responsible for herself or not. Lee Dam secretly thought that people really don't understand the world of foxes. In fact, foxes listening to his friend's words because the jade fox in her body changed color. This friend immediately told him to date with Lee Dam. The nine-tailed fox, who lived for 900 years, did not expect that he would be rejected, even more embarrassed about what he just said, because Lee Dam moving out to live alone made his younger brother a little suspicious about his sister's purpose for moving away, so he silently observed her, and indeed, the two of them had a new discovery. He heard his sister calling the other. The two analysts were probably professors. Now young people call them that. The fox was still care about the jade fox inside Lee Dam. Lee Dam also conveniently touched her belly and said that Jade Fox hadn't changed anything recently. Her close friend heard that and said she maybe be pregnant, so the two of them came to the conclusion that Lee Dam was pregnant, and it was right at this time the fox comforted Lee Dam because she had worked hard because of the Jade Fox. Lee Dam said it was okay. After all, it was about to go out. When heard this, her older sister confirmed that she was pregnant. He immediately got angry. Lee Dam, as soon as looked, she knew everything had been exposed. Then the younger brother started questioning the fox. Do you love my sister? The fox replied no, so at least get married. The fox also answered no. The young man, who has lived for 18 years, is the first time he has encountered this kind of scoundrel man, but his friend can't stand it anymore. He only sees this guy holding a stick and rushing to attack the fox. But the next second, just a glance from the fox of the two of them was stopped in the air. The girl was extremely surprised and scared, but the fox told her to rest assured he would take them home safely and erase their memories. Before Lee Dam could react, the two of them immediately disappeared. Lee Dam was extremely scared. One was her younger brother, the other was her best friend. She immediately took out her phone to call him, but was always in a state of turning off the phone. One moment she often saw her brother's bag still there, but the next second it also disappeared. Lee Dam hurriedly went home and saw her brother bringing the whole group of people to the house to play. Her younger brother also asked her what she was doing when she came home, seeing that backpack had disappeared, actually returned home. Moreover, her younger brother knew absolutely nothing about what had just happened. So, Lee Dam immediately made an excuse to say she was going to get her things, then left immediately, not expecting her younger brother to tell her to quickly go after getting her things. As she left the house, Lee Dam couldn't help but admire how powerful this fox was, not knowing that at this moment, the fox was being mockingly by his friend, living 900 years. Even a girl can't handle it, because as fellow, she immediately showed him a few tricks. In the 21st century, we no longer rely on sweet words, but must relying on practical actions. Frankly speaking, having to do all her requests, he thought about what she was thinking and worrying about. But unexpectedly, when Lee Dam returned, she proactively said she had something to ask him. The fox thought to himself that his opportunity had come. But the next second, Lee Dam's offer of help caught him off guard. This senior is an extremely good stalker. He always appears in front of Lee Dam in a 12-hour day. He can appear in front of her at least 20 times, and the rest of the time he sends messages asking for a date. Lee Dam completely understands how thick-skinned this young man is, which makes her unable to help herself, thinking, it seemed like she was like this back then. She didn't know that the seniors only did that because they made a bet with their friends. This girl couldn't even do anything to the school's hot boy, just to prove that he was capable. Could have Lee Dam, they bet 100,000 won. Lee Dam couldn't stand the senior's thick skin. She started talking to the fox. She talked about her situation in a hoarse voice. The fox heard the purpose of Lee Dam was wanting to disappoint the seniors, and most of all, not wanting to get close to her anymore. The two of them started pretending to date, wanted to find out from here the side of Lee Dam that others hated the most, but this appearance made Lee Dam's mouth open wide. The next second, the fox started helping her analyze her clothes, wearing a t-shirt with a dog image last time. That outfit looked a bit out of trend, but it worked. Lee Dam said this was a good idea, then taught her how to eat extravagantly to make the other person bored hated her, and said that the last time he saw her eat